Some stories live in fiction, others are far too real. Tonight we bring you 5 terrifying real-life accounts that feel like horror movie plots, but each one is documented, witnessed, and absolutely true. From a mysterious figure who survived a hit-and-run and then returned to the scene of the crime, to an eerie tale of a hitchhiker who vanished into thin air. These stories will keep you on the edge of your seat. And as always, stay till the end, because the last one is the scariest. A man was driving home from a party when suddenly he felt a sharp pain in his chest. He pulled over and called 911, but by the time the ambulance arrived, he was already dead. The coroner later determined that the man had died of a broken heart. Story 1. Buried alive. But he wasn't dead. They declared him dead, signed the papers, sealed the body, but death made a mistake. They zipped the bag, tagged the toe, and wheeled the body into cold silence. In a small town in Mississippi, Walter Williams was believed to have drawn his final breath. His pulse was gone, his chest still. The hospice nurse confirmed his death. The coroner signed off. His body was placed in a black vinyl bag and sent to the funeral home. What followed was supposed to be routine, but routine doesn't knock. Inside the embalming room, the mortician heard a sound, a faint thump. Then another, coming from inside the sealed bag. He froze, listened closer. Then he saw it, the bag shifting, gently, then violently. He ripped it open and Walter gasped, not just alive, aware. His eyes darted, panicked. He was fighting to breathe. Staff stumbled back in terror and awe. Walter had come back. Later, the medical team couldn't explain it. His heart may have slowed to undetectable levels. Maybe a pacemaker rebooted. But no one could deny what they saw. The dead man rose. And for 2 more weeks, Walter lived to tell the story, smiling as he repeated one line, "I told them I wasn't ready yet." He came back, no explanation, no logic. Just a man who woke up from the grave. But what if death doesn't take everyone it touches? Story 2. The woman who spoke after death. She lay in silence, surrounded by mourners, dressed in white, prepared for cremation. Then she sat up and whispered, "I wasn't ready." She was bathed, draped in white, surrounded by mourners. Then she sat up and whispered, "I wasn't ready." In a remote Indian village, a woman named Savitri was thought to have succumbed to a sudden illness. The local doctor declared her dead. Her body was cleaned and dressed in burial cloth. As the family circled her, praying and crying, a gasp echoed through the room. She moved, her eyes opened, and in a faint, broken voice she said, "It was too soon. I wasn't supposed to leave yet." Then just as suddenly she collapsed, lifeless, and this time she did not return. Villagers still believe her soul returned briefly, refusing to leave without saying goodbye. Story 3. Frozen solid. Yet she lived 19 years old, frozen for 6 hours, pulse gone, skin like glass. But death didn't win. Her body was ice, her eyes frozen open, her pulse gone. But death couldn't hold her. In 1980, 19-year-old Jan Hilliard was driving through rural Minnesota when her car slid off an icy road. She attempted to walk to a nearby house, but collapsed in the snow. She was found 6 hours later, her body completely frozen. Her skin was solid. Even the doctors couldn't pierce her with needles. She was like a human ice sculpture. They wrapped her in warm blankets, not to revive her, but to preserve what little dignity remained. Then she blinked. Slowly, miraculously, Jean began to regain movement. No brain damage, no amputations, no explanation. Doctors still call it a medical miracle. Some whisper she wasn't just frozen. She was taken and sent back. Jean survived what science still can't explain. Some call it a miracle. Others say she went somewhere and was sent back, but that wasn't the last time death missed its mark. Story 4. the man who attended his own funeral. A family gathered, the coffin open. Their tears soaked the room until the dead man walked through the door. The funeral began with tears, but it ended with screams. In Brazil, a man named Gilberto Araújo had been missing for days. When a body matching his appearance was found, his family identified it, quickly arranging a wake. The casket was open, people wept, candles burned. Then the door creaked. In walked Gilberto, alive, confused, and very, very real. At first, people believed they were seeing a ghost. His own mother fainted. His brother dropped to his knees. The dead man in the coffin, a look-alike. The real Gilberto had been working at a car wash the entire time. Photos exist of Gilberto standing beside his own coffin. What are the odds? Or maybe, what if the dead man was Gilberto in another thread of time? He stood next to his own body, and the funeral turned into hysteria, but in a world full of doppelgangers and coincidences, how many mistakes are actually glimpses into another reality? Story 5. The Anesthesia Nightmare. The surgeon made the cut. The patient didn't scream, he couldn't, but he felt everything. His body was paralyzed, but his mind was awake, and he felt everything. In 2008, during a routine abdominal surgery in the UK, a patient named Martin was placed under general anesthesia. But something went horribly wrong. The paralytic worked, his muscles froze, but the anesthetic didn't. Martin was trapped, unable to move, speak, or scream, but he could feel every scalpel stroke, every burn of cauterization. 25 minutes of living torture. When the surgery ended, he was conscious, sobbing, heart racing, eyes wide. Later, under sedation, he recounted everything in detail. His case became one of the most terrifying examples of anesthesia awareness ever documented. To this day, he fears sleeping. He avoids hospitals, and he still hears the buzzing of that surgical saw in his nightmares. 25 minutes of silent horror. A surgery he remembers in every painful detail. They say, you won't feel a thing. But for some, that's the biggest lie of all. 5 stories. 5 nightmares that weren't dreams. These events are not myths, not legends. They happened, and some were even caught on camera or confirmed by doctors and witnesses. So next time you hear a strange story, don't be so quick to call it fake, because reality is far stranger than fiction.